Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a returning guest with us, James Anderson. James is CEO of NuLegacy Gold. NuLegacy Gold can be traded as NUG on the TSX Venture, and it also can be traded as NULGF on the OTC. Thanks, James, for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me back, Jeff.
James, we're going to talk about your recent drilling success in Nevada, but before we get into recent results, I'd like to discuss why is NuLegacy focused on finding gold in Nevada, especially the Cortez Trend.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a good place for us to start the discussion, Jeff. As most of your readers know, Nevada is an outstanding place to look for gold and an outstanding place to do gold mining. And the two things are not necessarily synonymous. I would say that with the depressed price of gold, there's probably only a half dozen jurisdictions in the whole world that I'd be interested in spending shareholder money to explore, and Nevada is certainly one of them. And there's two or three reasons for that. One of the reasons is that Nevada has an enormous amount of gold in it. If you add up the gold endowments of the Carlin and Getchell and Cortez trends, which are the three major gold trends in northern Nevada, you get about 250 million ounces of gold. So it's an extraordinary gold endowment. There's only a few places in the world that can kind of rival that. If Nevada was its own country, it would be the sixth largest gold producing nation in the world. You know, a lot of people don't really grasp how much gold is produced there. Another really good way for your listeners to get a handle on that, the United States is a very large gold producing nation. It's the third largest gold producing nation in the world, but 80% of U.S. gold is produced in Nevada, primarily from these very large Carlin type gold deposits, Carlin type gold systems, which is a unique geological phenomenon that's exploited mostly in Nevada and not really anywhere else in the world. So an enormous amount of gold. The other reason why we're focused on Nevada is because the permitting to permit both exploration and mining in Nevada, there are rules in place. The different levels of government follow those rules generally, and you can move forward as a corporation. And there's lots of places in the world, third world countries where they might have lots of gold, but you really don't know what the permitting process is going to look like until you're in it. And different levels of government in different places in the world can hold you up, even after you've spent millions and tens of millions of dollars. That generally doesn't happen in Nevada. There's a rule of law there that is understood by the politicians and by the regulators and by the different bureaucratic levels of government. And everybody understands the rules of engagement, and everybody is able to play by those rules. So those three reasons, I think, permitting, rule of law, and an enormous gold endowment, that's why we're focused in Nevada.
And what's important, in addition to jurisdiction, is the team that NuLegacy has put together, both on the discovery side, on the board of directors as advisors, and on the corporate side. Can you go through some of the team members that are very important for this project going forward?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody that talks about their junior mining company, the junior exploration company, that they always want to tell you about the wonderful geologists and the wonderful people that are on the team. But we're very proud of the experience of the people who are working with NuLegacy at this point. So let me detail that a little bit for you. So on the discovery side, on the geological side, Roger Steiniger is our Chief Operating Officer. Roger's been working in Nevada for about 40 years. Roger is credited with the discovery of the 21 million ounce Pipeline gold deposit, which is just about 20 miles away from where we are working. So Roger knows the rocks in this area as well as any geologist on the planet. So that's part of the team. David Mallow joined us about a year ago. David has worked all over the world and has a tremendous history of gold exploration success from Africa to Papua New Guinea to British Columbia. David collared all the holes, the original discovery holes, at the Eskay Creek mine in northern British Columbia. That was Canada's highest grade gold mine for about 25 years. Alex Davidson is on our board of directors. Alex was Barrick's head of global exploration and corporate development for many years. Alex won the PDAC award for Mining Man of the Year in 2003 for his contribution to the Lagunas Norte discovery in Peru. So, I mean, that's an extraordinary amount of talent, of geological talent, in a small company. In terms of the corporate side of things, really it's myself and our chairman, Albert Matter, who run that aspect of the business. Albert and I have known each other for about 20 years. We were in the brokerage business together. Junior mining is what we always focused on and financed. One of the things that Albert and I worked on together that worked out really well was the predecessor of Alamos Gold. It was called National Gold. As a stockbroker, I did the first few rounds of financing on it. We bought the Mulatos deposit in Mexico from two major mining companies at a time when nobody wanted gold deposits, and it was very, very difficult to finance that at that point as well. But we financed the company at 25 cents and 20 cents and 15 cents. We ended up merging it with a cash-rich junior company called Alamos. But that's the Alamos that you see today. It produced 150,000 ounces of gold last year. The stock has been as high as about $20. It's currently about $7 or $8, and is merging with Orico, another medium-sized mining company. So both in terms of the team, in terms of the exploration team and the corporate team, everybody involved in this company, we've done it before. We've taken one of these little junior exploration companies and created a lot of wealth and an important company from it. So I'm quite proud of the group of people who we put together leading NuLegacy.
James, as you're well aware, I've been following NuLegacy for a couple of years now, and so have many of my subscribers. We've seen drilling results, but what really got us excited was in the end of May, you discovered this high grade in the North Zone, and of over 25 grams of gold over 4 meters within 41.2 meters of 3.9 grams per ton. That's very high grade. Could you talk to us about this discovery and the context with the entire iceberg gold deposit that you're working on right next to the Barrick's Goldrush discovery?
Sure. Okay. So let me make a couple of points on that for your listeners. Number one, these Carlin-type deposits, generally speaking, what you get is a broad envelope of lower-grade material, let's say 0.5 gram to 1 gram material, and we've got that. We've got a lot of that material, and we've published a lot of very good drill results over the last few years. Generally, in these type of deposits, though, you get high-angle fracture zones, faulting zones, through the deposit where the grade gets much, much higher. And we've only found a little bit of that as we've been drilling through there, frankly, because we haven't done nearly as much drilling as, let's say, a big company like Barrick or Newmont would be able to do on this type of project. But this is one of the examples. The drill hole that we published in May, which is our drill hole 40. We got 42 meters of almost 4 grams of gold. Now, that's a good drill hole in any deposit in the world. It's especially good in this type of environment. The material is near surface. It only starts at about 95 meters, so you call it 300 feet below surface. So it's near surface, and it's all oxidized. And that makes a big difference in Nevada, whether the material is refractory or whether it's oxidized. When it's oxidized, you can simply scoop it out of the ground, put it on a leach pad, come back 30 days later and be producing gold. That makes a big, big difference in terms of the operating costs of a gold mining operation. Should we find enough material to be able to bring the thing into production.
James, what's critical today for many junior miners is if they're going to be financed all the way to gold production. You have a very unique earn-in agreement with Barrick. Talk to us about this earn-in agreement, the recent money that you raised, the recent financing that you closed, and what that means going forward to the end of 2015.
Right. Okay. So first of all, the agreement that we have with Barrick will see us spend a total of $5 million on the property in exploration in order to earn a 70% interest in this project. Barrick really looked at Roger Steiniger and the team that we put together to explore this ground and said, well, yeah, these guys are professionals. If they're going to put up the first $5 million of risk capital, we'll allow them to earn a 70% interest. So we have spent $4.2 million of the $5 million that's necessary for us to earn our 70% interest. We'll complete the $5 million spend by spending the additional $800,000 by approximately mid-October of this year. Once that's completed and we own our 70% interest, Barrick has a one-time clawback provision in the agreement where they can elect to spend the next $15 million on the property to retake a 70% interest in the property, thereby leaving us with a 30% interest. But the key, Jeb, is that 30% interest will become a carried through to production interest. So we don't have to come up with any of the big capital that's necessary to put one of these projects into production. And I think that's, when you say unique, that I think is the unique element of the agreement and the very positive element of the agreement for NuLegacy at this point, because as you know and as your listeners know, raising money in the junior mining industry has been very difficult. However, NuLegacy has been able to raise money throughout this difficult period on the strength of the project and on the strength of the people involved in the project. We did raise $2.3 million in May. That leaves us with about $3.2 million in cash and marketable securities in our treasury, certainly well above the $800,000 additional dollars that we need to spend on the ground to earn our interest. So for the first time in a while, NuLegacy has some unallocated working capital in our treasury. So we are in a stronger position financially than many of the other junior companies out there right now.
James, as we conclude this interview, NuLegacy, if you look at a chart of NuLegacy versus the GDXJ or the GDX, the Gold Mining ETF Fund, or the HUI, the Gold Bugs Index, NuLegacy is in a 45-degree angle uptrend, while the gold indices are in a 45-degree angle downtrend. Why do you see that NuLegacy, from a fundamental standpoint, is outperforming? And why should investors take a look at NuLegacy now?
Right. Well, as you know, Jeb, I was in the stock brokerage business for many, many years. That's my background. And I have a lot of respect for the stock market and for what stock charts have to say. Specifically, I think that the market, number one, anticipates us completing our earn-in with Barrick. I think that the better drill results that we've managed to report to the marketplace for the first, in the last few months or so, I think the market understands that we are beginning to establish a significant gold deposit in what is arguably the best place on the planet to find a gold deposit. So I think a combination of all of those things, with the market always looking forward, the market also sees a number of catalysts with NuLegacy over the coming months. There'll be ongoing drilling results for the next 3 or 4 months. We'll be able to complete our earn-in agreement with Barrick, and then the anticipation of Barrick's decision whether they're going to earn back and spend the $15 million to retake a majority position. So all of those things, I think, are exciting to the marketplace, and I think what the stock chart and the price of the stock is showing us is that NuLegacy continues to deliver what it says it's going to deliver corporately.